Hey, let's have a girly morning. Let's do our makeup from scratch. So my name's Laura. Come on in, sit yourself down, and I'll put kettle on. So this is my skin at 66-year-old. I have nothing on my skin except I've used a buffer. I've just washed my face, and as in my previous video, I explained when I wash my face, I use a buffer to buff it. You can buy them from Boots. Here I use my own. I go to Morrison's and I use a small abrasive sponge and I gently. You can buy them from Boots and they're called buffer sponges. So you can see I have scars there. You know, I'm 66-year-old. I've got a bald patch there, warts and all. You can see everything on my face. I've just washed it purposely with the tea tree wash, which you will see in my previous video. And I buffed it up after washing it. And this is what I use religiously. Winter, summer, every single day. I never go out without this. And it's Factor 50, Boots number 7. And I've used it. I did say in my previous video I'd used it for perhaps 10 and 12 years. Well, looking back, I probably used it for over 15, if I'm totally honest, maybe even more. You know, my memory doesn't serve me well, but I've used that religiously. I really honestly don't think there's anything out there that beats a Factor 50 sun cream. And like I said as well in my previous video, the reason I'm doing this today is because in my previous video I did a virtual makeup tutorial of my makeup, but I already had my makeup on. So I felt like I was rushing because my dog needed to go out and I'd even forgotten to put my mascara on. I was rushing that much and it did look a little bit like I was falsifying the video in some way because I already had, and I was saying, hey, I have good skin for 66. I'm not saying I'm 21 or even that I want to be 21. For goodness sake, that's not the reason of the video. The reason of the video is to say how effective Factor 50 sun cream is, because everybody comments on my skin at 66. Even the GPs, specialists will say you've got really good skin. And I'm not trying to be 21. No way. There's glamorous YouTubers out there, more glamorous than me. I'm just saying you do not need to spend an absolute fortune on creams, peptides, and everything else that's going to keep the wrinkles away. I'm not saying they don't work, by no means. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying if you're on a budget, there is another way of doing it. So I'm sat right in front of my window. I've got the blinds up so the sun's coming in. I've got the light on above me so you can see everything. I have got flaws. Hey, my teeth are crooked, but hey, I can't afford to have them done and the dentist won't take them out because there's nothing wrong with them. They're in good nick, as he says. So, I'm not a glamorous, I'm just putting the video out there about skin, and all my other videos, tips and about aging and things to make your life more comfortable. I'm not trying to sell anything to anybody. So the first thing I will talk about, I've mentioned the Factor 50, which is the most important thing here. And I'm going to mention my brows because I mentioned in my previous video how I do my brows. I tint my brows, however, I only tint them underneath and I use the brow tint for that. I mix a little bit in this cup and I put a bit underneath to shape them, almost like I'm dyeing them, but not all over. So I just do that underneath and I leave it to develop and then I wash it off. It lasts about 6 weeks, depending. If I'm wearing lots of makeup every single day, it may not last as long. I don't wear makeup every day. and I don't wear makeup just to go out in the garden and things like that, but I do love my makeup. You know, I don't feel myself without it. So when I've actually done my brows and I'm putting my makeup on, I use the glue, got to be glued, to brush it up before I put the powder on, because it just keeps the powder in place. So I will show you. The foundation I use is Max Factor L'Oreal Double Wear I use. I'm going to use a different one today, because if you look on my previous video, you might think, hey, it's the foundation and that's why her skin looks good. So I'm going to use the Facefinity today, which is a different one, just to show you the difference. The tone's probably not going to look the same, but you will see it's not just the foundation. So let me put my hair back. And I may make a lot of mistakes in this video. You will have to excuse me. Sometimes I knock the microphone and everything else. These are the sponges I mentioned in my previous video. That goes soft when you put water on it. That is what it's like beforehand. You can buy these from Amazon in bulk. They're really good because they're lightweight as well. So you can pack them into suitcases, you know, bags to go away with, and then just wet them like that. They will go hard again when they're dry. Just wash them with a little bit of soap and water. So I'm going to apply this foundation onto the sponge. I'll move that out of the way so I don't pick it up again. So excuse me as well, I don't keep looking at the camera like I should. I'm looking at the middle of the phone, which I need to get used to looking at the camera. So I'll apply this all over my face. I have a mirror on my table here, which I will show you because it may be of use. If you're going on holiday or anything like that, it may be of use to you. So if I was in my room without the window right in front of me and just the light, I would try to blend this a little bit better. Hey, it's not going to be perfect because I'm not in the right environment for it. I just want you to see. It doesn't go on as thick. This one does not go on as thick as the double wear that I normally wear. And because my hair is so light at the top, I really have to rub it in. The mirror I use, it folds and it's got a light. So if you need to take something like this in your suitcase or on holiday, it goes like that and folds, and it has a light. So I've got makeup all over it, I do apologise. So it has lights that you can turn on and off and just fold like that and folds down. So in my videos, most of them I have some little hints and tips and things that may help. So I don't know if I've got that on perfectly. I'll lift my mirror up and look. Maybe I just need a little bit more under my eyes. That's, hey, as you age, that's the place that we need a little bit more. And with this, With the Got to Be Glued hairspray as well, you use it on a brush and brush your eyebrows up. You need to be really careful because some people are quite allergic to things like that, you know, so you must be very mindful of that. Do not spray it near your eyes, spray it away onto the brush. So these are flat because they're cosmetic buds and they have the pointy side on that side, and you can get them from Superdrug. They're fantastic. I can't recommend them enough because when you're putting your eyeshadow on, it's not a brush so it doesn't spray all over the place. So I put it flat like that, show you. It's a little bit more gentle on your eyes because it's not a brush, and then you're not getting the eyeshadow all at the bottom. You can get these from Superdrug and on Amazon in bulk, I believe. I've always bought them from Superdrug, but I'm believing Amazon has everything, doesn't it? I'm not hyping it up, I'm just saying it normally has everything. Nothing here is to try and sell you anything. If there's anything you can't find and you really want, hey, leave them in the comments below. But I'm not trying to sell anybody anything. Now I put a little bit under my eyes as well. I try to use eyeshadows with no chemicals or anything in because I have had blepharitis in the past and it's not very nice to have. I'm probably doing it a silly way around as well. So I'm going to use that. So I spray a little bit on that of the Got to Be Glued away from your eyes and your face. Got a little bit onto it. The spray's not brilliant on that. It just makes it a little bit more abrasive so you can apply the colour to your eyebrows. And remember what I said earlier, I only colour underneath for the shape. So that's for the shape there. Then I put my colour on the brows. I do have a brow brush that I use. Just going to give you the gist of everything. I do have a brow brush that I use normally, but hey, these are fantastic. You can use them for anything. I can still see a bit of the foundation on the hairline, but I'll sort that out later. When you're rushing to do a video, nothing's perfect. So my brows, this is a blusher stick, but it can also be used as a lipstick as well. You just push it up like that, and it's a cream. Put a little bit on the forehead. Just a little bit like contouring, really. I'm going to put a bit of lipstick on because my lips look yuck. I'll put a little bit of lip liner on and lipstick for now. This lipstick I have here, I can't find it anywhere. It's a 295 and it's called Fancy, and I can't find the lipstick anywhere, and I do like it. I have a powder here that I sometimes put under my eyes as well. If my eyes look a little bit red underneath, or I do put a little bit of green powder. Not always, depending on how well I look on the day, shall we say. And put that into the corners. It just takes a little bit of the, the corners of your eyes sometimes can look dark, can't they? I'll put some mascara on. Just try and curl the lashes slightly. In my previous video with the makeup on and just going through everything, I actually forgot the mascara. Now I do use sensitive mascara, but it's all clogged up and I don't want to show it on camera. It looks that bad, to be honest. It's all clogged up on the end. So I'm just using a cheap one that I have for emergency. But I do use sensitive because of the blepharitis carry on. And the reason these are so good for things like eye conditions, if you do have eye conditions, we don't always wash our brushes, do we? Our eye brushes, makeup brushes. These can just be thrown away. You can buy them in boxes full. So they're very good because, hey, we don't have to spend ages cleaning all our brushes. So I don't put lots of mascara on because I do not like my eyelashes looking all clogged. And I don't like thick looking eyelashes on me. They just don't do anything for me at all. And I think I've said, I have had Botox in the past. Hey, I've had fillers in the past, quite a few years ago now. Can move my eyebrows and everything. The Botox did nothing for me except raise one eyebrow. And I had lip filler, and all it did were cause me cold sores and looked horrendous because I already have scars across my lips there, hey, from an accident years ago. So the Botox just didn't look right on me. It did nothing for me. And hey, Botox doesn't last, does it? You've got to keep spending the money. And at retirement age now, I haven't got that kind of money to spend. So, I have priorities. Don't you just hate silence? You know, as I'm aging at 66, keep saying it, I hate even saying it. As I'm aging at 66, it's a struggle sometimes to keep the eye conditions and things like that away. I've got to use everything that's natural and pure and clean, and because I just get so many eye conditions. So that's as much as the eye makeup. I don't use lots and tons and tons and tons. I use the highlighter as well. Show you that. It's called an illuminator. So I use that. I put it on my nose. I put it on the forehead. Just the sides of the cheeks. And on the chin a little bit. Just to illuminate. So that's as, you know, sometimes, let me find my pencil. Sometimes if I think under my eyes could be a little bit darker, I may put a little bit more on under the eyes. And then I've got to blend it, which I'm not going to do now because I don't, you'd be getting bored if sat watching on the video. People don't generally stay long on videos. You've got to be if you're doing a video, you've got to be very quick because people get bored. So I could have done a better job. This isn't my best attempt. I don't know how long I've been actually. I haven't looked at the time of the video. So perhaps I have put a little bit too much under my eyes. Maybe less is better. But that's basically my sort of makeup routine. You know, like I've said, at 66, I don't think my skin's bad. You know, I don't think it's bad at all. Hey, I do have patches of red bits and I do have freckles, and that does show up, you know, with no makeup on at all. You do see all that, and I've shown you that right from the very beginning. I'd washed my face, used the tea tree, buffed it up, put the factor 50 on, and then I came in to do the video and my face was red and patchy and everything else. So I hope it's been of some help to you, even the little bits and bats that I've shown you. I hope that some of it has been of help. The mirror, you know, you may want to look for the mirror. There's the eyelash brown tint. That does last for about a few weeks if you use it on your brows. If I put it all over my brows are too dark. So they go really dark. So I just put it underneath for the line, really. And then there's these, which are brilliant if you have, you know, eye conditions or anything like that. They're absolutely brilliant. There's the factor 50, which is the most important thing of all. Factor 50. You know, if you're in your 20s, 30s, wear it religiously. Wear it winter, summer. And I'd be 99% that it makes a difference into your 60s. I really would. Don't waste hundreds of pounds on creams and peptides and everything. Hey, there'll be, you know, retailers out there that's absolutely cursing me. But I've tried all the creams and everything, and I started on that because I do have freckles and people started commenting on my skin. So I carried on with it and I've never been without it. So that's the reason I use that now all the time. Hey, in the comments, if there's anything that you would like to see or anything you would like me to talk about, then, I will talk about it. My name's Laura, as I've said, and I hope my videos, any of them, give you some kind of, hey, I didn't know that. I'm glad I've watched that, because that's, most of my videos is I'm trying to bring something to the table that will help people. So, and I'm not a supermodel, and I don't claim to be, for goodness sake. I just like to feel good I like to feel pretty when I've done up. Here we all get up in the morning and we think, oh my goodness, I look my age. And perhaps I do look my age in the morning. But, if anything, I do think I have good skin. So if that's something I'm bringing to the table to help my viewers, then thank you for watching. I really do hope you have a lovely day, and I hope you come back and watch again. Thank you. Bye.